Give me the 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
All right. Welcome back, adventurers. My name is Eli, the Game Master, and this is A Good Day to Die. Last we left off, it's been so long since we've played. We need a stark reminder of where we were from the players. I've issued that. What was that?
What?
Are you doing duo
Nope.
lingo during the introductory section? My God.
And Amos is learning Japanese.
That's
we
our
play
third
Pathfinder.
cease and desist.
In one night.
Not a sponsor, but...
This episode brought to you by water. Everyone needs it to
The paper
live.
server just opens up an office across the street.
Agua, we have you covered.
We are you.
We are you. At least 80%. Last we left off, the group had wrapped up the Boggard battle, defeated the Mabogo, brought forth the Froghemoth, scattered the Boggards to the northern plains of the Martrekian swamps, and have become honorary Gripply among the tribes people. There they had put down metaphorical roots, had decided to rest for the evening, and Manzarek has eaten a dragonfly that gave him crazy, crazy images, and he went on a trip.
Don't do drugs.
He has gained a little bit of divination magic and maybe a little bit of a Boggard curse that he doesn't know about yet. Can I help you?
I don't know. Can you?
Do I need to scoot over?
Are we good? Nani?
Just said I'll go further away.
And in doing so, he has used his druidic magic to conjure through the living branch of the great tree that the shaman of the Gripply village held to open a portal. The portal is now open. The group has decided to take a long rest, and we will pick it up on the morning of the next day. You are all greeted with that same kind of sticky humidity that only a swamp can provide. The sound of buzzing insects and croaking frogs wake you up in the morning, and you realize that you all have all slept in because you have spent the better part of the last 2 days being attacked by some kind of amphibian. Your body aches, your wounds are healing, and we will pick it up there. What do you all do?
Can we revisit this Boggard curse?
What? What?
You don't know. Yeah, I'm revisiting it for the first time. Or
That's why I'm
just initially visiting.
Hold up. Back up. What?
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. I imagine you wake up and you're like, what? That's like the first
It's just
thing
like,
you say.
I don't feel good. I feel wise. Not in a good way. So the rod had opened a portal for us. We have not stepped through that portal or anything. We just kind of like opened it.
Yeah, in the middle of her hut, by the way.
That is correct.
That's kind of rude. You could have picked a better location to put a giant portal that goes to somewhere else.
Probably. Had I known, I probably wouldn't have done it there.
Imagine just waking up to go use the bathroom in the middle of the night, just going to a completely different
She
location.
probably just needs to move. Like,
You pointed it through the turtle shell.
yeah. So I'm still hanging out with that portal. I have not stepped through it.
No, yes, this is the morning after. You have all taken a long rest. Manzara, you have passed out in Yoltrala's hut. The next morning, you wake up to find her and Mulguera talking off to the side in a very hushed tone. There are Gripply that are heading kind of in and out, just cleaning, getting preparations, bringing in food and things like that. One of the Gripply walks in and kneels down next to you as she presses her hand to your forehead, and she said, "Oh, you're clammy and moist. You feel much better than you did yesterday."
I sit up quickly and look around. I come back.
The center of the hut still houses the portal as it pulses that druidic energy and that deep green glow that is emanating from the center of the circle. that is created by the branches that have looped up and connected themselves to the rock.
I look to the gripply that was patting my head. And I'm like, please, go fetch my friends.
She nods as she steps out.
Kind of just get up and I get myself ready and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, put your mud mask on.
I know where this portal goes. Not actually, but
Ideally.
or have a general idea where it goes.
You've narrowed it down to like a 500-mile radius.
Yeah, kind of.
And that general.
Surprisingly helpful and not at the same time.
I will just kind of chat with them while I wait for the rest of them to show up.
As you approach Yotrala and Moguera, they look to you and they seem very excited that you're awake. They usher you over and allow you to sit with them. As they begin speaking about the Gripply and how the different members of all the different tribes that have dispersed because of the Boggart attack, they've been finding members scattered throughout the swamps of all of the other tribes that didn't take place in the battle. And they said, as we speak, they have scouts going out and they're ushering them all back in to this tribe, into the Kakarikikit village, so that they may be able to start again until their numbers are replenished. And it is today that they've decided that all the chiefs will form a council, and all Gripply are of the same tribe. At least for now.
I like to smack rock.
So, I would like everyone to roll me initiative, except for
I'm rolling it.
You technically got a 28 because you went first.
28. That's a lot to assume.
Wait, hang on. Wrong character.
Sorry,
21.
13. 28.
15.
Cool. Ragnar, with a 28, where would you have bedded down for the night in this Gripply village?
I would have probably just gone wherever they allowed majority of us heroes to be.
So, with the battle that had commenced, a lot of Gripplies had lost their lives. Not as many as could have been, but there are some huts that are now void of any residents. Those huts have been given to you all to sleep in for that night. They are odd. You wouldn't call them exactly comfortable, but they are dry, and they are elevated above the mud and the muck. So it is in there that you have slept, on your bedroll, just as it is a step above sleeping on the ground, but it's no inn, you know. You would wake up as a Gripply steps in and she gently taps on the door frame. She says, "Excuse me."
Yes.
She says, "Your friend, he summoned you."
Which one?
The Manzek.
Where?
She says, "He is in the chief's hut."
Okay, I'll be there soon.
She nods as she steps out. Rise and shine!
Cheers. I go over.
Can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
That's right. I go to my backpack and I pull out the head, making sure that the place is closed off.
Mm-hmm.
I take and put my hand and squeeze it over into the mouth of Milkor.
As you go to cut your hand, right, you hear that voice in your head. "Oh, what do you have planned this time, Ragnar? I'm curious."
See what he knows. Not had a good chance, considering we've kind of have an idea where one's at. See if this is where he's from.
I see. Yes, ask. The blood drips into Malquar's mouth. You see any kind of rot or festering that had taken part in the muggy swamp over time suddenly begins to heal. Color flushes back into his face as he opens his eyes in a start and he looks around. He begins to open his mouth to scream.
If he starts to scream, I slap my hand over his mouth. Do not scream. I have a few questions I would like for you to answer. Okay? Blink once for yes, 2 for no. Thank you. Take my hand off.
And if you don't mind, darling, I have a few questions of my own. Like, it seems that I've joined a diet plan and I've lost more weight than I'd care to had. What is happening and where am I?
Well, after our battle, something in me decided to take your head off.
With battle?
Yes.
What battle?
One where you were consumed by black blood.
Blood?
Yes, that's awesome. Either way, do you recall anything the last time you saw me, or when the last time you saw me was?
Darling, I have no idea who you are.
Hey, oh, he doesn't remember anything.
Well, Ragnar, maybe he doesn't know anything about the last events of his life, but maybe he knows something about when he was transformed. Ask him where his consciousness was during that time.
What is the last thing you remember?
He says, I was in the graveyard. Yes. I was looking for the flute. And I was approached by a rat folk who wore an odd cloak. And he seemed confused, jabbering to himself.
Did he do anything to you?
Yes. He stepped up to me and offered to show me something. He said that my father had hidden something away beneath Drimport. That he knew something that I didn't, none of my siblings had. I wanted to see what that was, my curiosity taking the better of me. And he says, he led me down into the depths of Drimport. And there was this ichor rising up from the stones of a cave. I touched it, and that was the last... No, I remember something else.
And that is?
I don't know. It was like a dream. I remember voices. Hundreds, maybe thousands of them. Like a great battle. Except instead of war cries, they were distressed.
Like they were all screaming at you?
Not at me, but screaming, yes. I could feel them collectively, almost as if I was part of them. Is this part of that dream? Am I still dreaming?
Do I know how this ends to end it?
Yes, you can just cancel it at any time.
It is for now, and then I'll cancel it.
You've impressed me, Ragnar.
How did I impress you?
That you are embracing these powers I've given you so readily.
I'm trying to figure out where we can just get rid of all of this.
Maybe he's on to something, Ragnar. A dream, connected to the collective. It seems that whatever this is has taken part of his body, but his consciousness was sent somewhere else. Maybe that's where we need to head next.
Do you know what Wormy has to do with anything? Or if he's a part of it?
As a matter of fact, yes, I do know. Wormy has nothing to do with this. As a matter of fact, I feel that that creature is going to prevent us from furthering our exploration into this.
Into taking all the heads?
Into discovering what lies beneath the black blood, Ragnar. Where this consciousness goes. Any messenger of Desna is going to interfere with this.
I'm not interested in where the consciousness goes fully. If it gets us to the heads, that's all I care about.
Yes. I think we know where one of them is. That rat came from the great tree, Ragnar. We know this for a fact.
Seriously, though.
Yes. Maybe it's a breadcrumb trail. Maybe we just need to find the next piece to know where to go next.
Since there are only beats so far, so that's all we can do.
Yes. And I'll be with you every step of the way.
Can I walk out, mimicking him?
Was it you that had the next task?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, where would you head bedded down for the night?
In a hut.
Uh-huh.
In a, yes. Probably peering over the use under extreme discretion section of my father's spellbook. I'm trying to learn some more things here
You're
and there.
terrified. You know that.
No, Perry, seriously, consider this.
It's, as you're reading it, it's not uncommon for spellcasters, especially wizards, to write in their spellbooks in some kind of like esoteric or like coded manner. So as you're reading it, you're like, these are notes that only he knows what means. And you're trying to decipher it from what you have deciphered. Because what you have learned is what he has learned, and it seems like as he's progressed, he's just like, this has been something he's done on his downtime.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just getting more and more confusing and more complicated. But you are like a good chunk into this journal.
Yeah.
It's like reading a book, and when you pull it out and you see where your marker is, you're like, yeah, I made some progress.
Yeah.
So I assume you're just kind of like, you have the book in hand and you're just kind of leaning against the wall sleeping.
Yeah.
Robbie is just curled up on the pages of the book in like this kind of semi-solid liquid ball. You suddenly hear a rapping on the door.
Into the bag.
Into the bag.
Alright. Yes.
That's a deep bag. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your friend has summoned you, Menzerik.
Ah, yes.
She nods as she walks up.
She learned the hard way.
Okay. I'm following, I suppose.
She stops. She says, "He's in the chiefess's hut."
Oh.
Yes, you're the second one I've been sent to summon. I still have the other two.
Okay. And then I'll head toward the...
If you're hungry, I believe that they're preparing breakfast for everyone.
And what does breakfast consist of for the Ripley Nation?
She says, typically larger insects, but for humanoids like yourself, I do know that you're partial to fish.
Okay, that sounds good.
She says,
Okay, good.
It's not gonna tell me to get fish.
Okay.
they just,
Okay.
Menzerik just like, that thing was like a third of your size, and you
That's
just
fine.
ate it.
His jaw unhinged. It was terrifying. He's parkour.
Give me a sashimi knives out.
You said 18?
15.
15.
I'm last.
Okay. Dr. Tim,
Yes.
where had you bed down Seems to be a popular choice.
Yeah, I would, but I'm always an early riser because I don't sleep too well. So the moment I wake up, I'm immediately on the trail of like finding where the healer's hut is and just helping out wherever I can,
Okay.
tending to patients.
So there is a hut that has been dedicated, and this hut seems to be like a storage area more than anything that they've cleared out because it has just wide open room. They have sick beds lined up in twos in like the center of it, where any Gripply that have been too injured to be able to go home or walk on their own is where they're bedding down. So as you walk in that next morning, you kind of like look over any patients that are laying there, and you kind of look them over, get an idea of what's wrong with them, and you do the bedside manner thing. You know, it's like, you took an arrow to the knee.
Oh my.
And much like with Dreamport, I'm trying to work with their healers and teaching them what I know in morning. And have that back and forth discourse.
Something that you discover in doing this is your knowledge of medicine and healing is beyond theirs. So, like, what do you get taking a 10 on heal?
29.
29? They are in the low teens. Not bad, serviceable,
Right.
but not that. But something that you do learn, there's a lot of, like, medicinal herbs that they are very, very conscious of that grow in the Martrek area that you wouldn't typically find anywhere else. There are, like, substitutions for it, but if you ever, like, take the time to learn this, I'm going to give you a +1 on knowledge, nature, or survival when looking for these certain herbs. As this is going on, a Gripply steps in and she kind of looks around. She says, "Oh, excuse me, Doctor." She says, "Your friend, Manzarek, he is in the chief's hut and he summoned you."
Okay.
She's
I
learning
suck.
every time
Yeah.
they include more information.
It's like, who? Where? Why? How? Why is Gamora?
Do it. I'll give you one better. Why?
Who is Gamora? You know this! I would, like, finish my conversation with them and sort of, like, trading notes. I assume I have a common translator.
Oh, yeah. There is amongst this group at least one that speaks common.
So sort of exchanging with them, and I would sort of, like, in my alchemist book right now, like, these herbs in this area is what useful, because I almost imagine I'm trying to find equivalency herbs. Like, I know in this place, like, poppies do this, but so like 5 more minutes and I can get towards the giant treasure show.
Alright. Damon!
I have awakened with the dawn, and I am basically doing repair work, maintenance of my armor and weapons.
Okay.
I do not want to be awake.
So, you've taken the time, you know, the 10 minutes to don your armor, and even beyond that, you are tightening up any straps, loose ends, things like that, making sure you are clean, prim, pressed, and polished for the day. As you are kind of tidying up, sharpening your sword, that same familiar as the messenger relays the same thing to you. Dr. Stewart, message for you in the lobby.
Stump over there, open the door.
He thinks there's a door.
Oh,
chains
well,
back.
I just
On the map there were.
Yeah, that's true.
You can have a door if you want a door. I built this door.
open it up, looking
I've
around.
introduced the Gripply people to the concept of a door.
Oh,
He's overlooking.
The
Manzarek made a portal, and so have I.
Doors.
I
have
covered
been
a portal.
searched.
No, I opened it up and I'm like, hello?
I'm sorry, what?
No, I'm looking around. But I
Is
don't
this
see
a
that.
sword joke?
Oh,
he gets
okay,
to
I
make
see,
a charge
yes.
once his life.
Oh, right, I get
Let
it.
him have it. Let him have it.
Ding, ding, ding. Excuse me, sturdy codpiece.
Wow.
Got him.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
No, I beg yours. Your friend Manzarek is in the chief's hut, and he has sent me to summon you.
Oh, very well. Do I need to head over there immediately, or can I get some breakfast first?
The breakfast will be served in there.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
He's getting insights.
She bows as she leaves. So all of you kind of start to funnel into the hut, just one by one. You see that in the time that has taken you to make your way over there, you see that Throgak and Zappa are also there, the leaders of the Death Touch, as they have come in and sit down and begin. Is that not her name?
Who's the first one?
Throgak? Is that it?
Jinx.
Was it Jinx?
Jinx, Yortrala, and Zappa.
Yes!
Yes, Jinx and Zappa.
Jinx and Zappa. Why do I have Throgak? Who is Throgak?
Pretty sure it's a bugger.
Oh, we don't know.
We got Bomb Rack.
Maybe that's who it was.
No, it's not.
Bomb rack is back.
Umbrak is back.
Jinx! Anyway, it's been a couple of weeks for the holidays.
Bomb
Anyway, Bomb Rack's there. I've turned over a new leaf.
I killed you.
I ate your head, Superella.
Jinx and Zappa are there, conversing with Moguera and Yotrala as the rest of you kind of funnel in. You see that same portal thrumming in the middle of the room, and it gives a very pleasant kind of white noise, just as kind of. As you step in, you do see that.
That's it.
You can talk.
I'm gonna dog.
You see a straw mat has been laid out in the middle of the room in front of the portal, and on this mat there is a variety of different things. Some of them resembling like a red or green paste. You see that there is a bowl of wriggling and moving purple grubworms that are probably about like that big. But they are curled and they like kind of uncurl and kind of start making their way to the edges.
It's like a burrito.
But
The
it's
forbidden burrito.
But it seems that the bowl is like sharply curved up with a lip, and they're not able to. Yeah, as they keep like dropping back down. And you're just kind of like, you scan this and you're like, oh. And you see at some point there are cooked fish, but something that you notice is none of these fish are seasoned. And it seems like some of them are a little overdone or underdone. And you start to get the impression that Gripply don't cook their fish. And this is something simply for y'all. Like, they don't season them because they just don't season anything. And the concept of cooking a fish is not a thing that they do. And so they're just kind of like, it's not pink in the middle. So,
white.
yeah.
I've cooked that way in the past.
And you're like, just like I used to make. As you all start to come in, the chiefs are kind of talking amongst themselves. They look over to all of you, and you see that Manzarek is sitting amongst them as well. They have invited you to sit and asked your friends to sit on the opposite side of the ceremonial mat as you all come into the room.
I'm trying to sit down as close to the edible food as I can.
They're all edible.
Are there plates or things?
Nope.
Depends.
Is something wrong?
I'm looking for like a loose piece of bark or something. No.
Come on, Barry. Tuck in. I reach over and grab one of the fish.
Robbie pulls one of those grubs out and like starts pulling it into the bag.
It's as big as he is.
Yeah. They don't care.
Please clean up when you're done.
I will, and I'll make a mess in the corner.
Well, actually, I probably have like some camping utensils, like a metal tray. Or
I'm halfway through the
silverware.
fish.
Yeah.
He eats with weapons? How about that?
And I pull out some salt and
It is,
pepper.
it is strange, but it is. I have come to understand.
A little more. Maybe some parsley.
What?
Basil.
Zappa goes, I like it. And she pulls out her dagger and like stabs one of the grubs.
I'm like,
yeah.
yeah.
Is it the fish? It is very bland.
I've got some seasoning.
He got
He
spices.
has
Okay.
seasoning in there, yeah.
Maybe after the first bite, it's like, it's close, but
Also, something that you've noticed, almost all of the fish that you're eating are exclusively catfish of some kind. In the mangroves, this would be the largest.
sense,
Yeah,
yeah.
the largest and easiest thing for them to catch would be the bottom.
Meanwhile, I'm saying some of the raw fish.
Yeah. You're like, no, this is fun. Sushi. Parasites.
Salmon and
parasites.
Compared to what I probably used to eat, this is fine.
Sure.
How are you feeling, Manzarek?
I just kind of pointed the portal to like.
You're
that.
feeling.
You're feeling mysterious.
I am feeling concerned and also.
Did you do that?
Excited? Yes.
Oh!
Me too.
Well, hang
It was
on.
an accident.
I accidentally a portal.
Back up. Huh?
Well,
What kind of drugs were you on?
yeah, I don't.
I imagine I look at Moguera and she's like,
Oh, he was tripping.
what did you do?
That's what I did.
Did you have fun?
It depends on the drugs
He was
took.
doing cocaine.
He was so proud of that joke. He had to
couldn't
stop
even
so
wait to
he
get
could
it out.
laugh at his own joke. That's how proud of that joke he was.
We love and appreciate you.
Cocaine.
I have partaken in Akpara. It is a Bogart custom. We don't exactly. I am, to my understanding, the first Gripply to do so.
No, the first one to survive.
Oh,
What?
I have also used the staff that is part of the life tree and
the portal?
opened a portal
Okay.
Where does he?
to the tree.
How long have you been able to do such things? Because I feel like getting to the swamp would have been way easier if you just opened a portal there.
I agree.
How long have I been awake? How long was I awake? About 12 hours.
Your Trolla says, your friend is unique, even amongst Gripply. He has been able to tap into the life force of the great tree with an extension, Terresquia itself. He was able to open this portal into the Verdant plains to bring you closer to the great tree itself.
Good for you.
And that's where we need to go.
That's where we
I
need to
imagine
go.
And
you
that's up
can't
north.
do-
It should take several days, weeks
Hang on.
off our trip.
Oh, okay.
But when we go through the portal, we go where we need to be. And that's up north.
I hope so.
What do you mean? You hope so?
That's what
Would
they
I
tell
know
me.
I look at them and like, is this north from where we're at?
It is north from where we're at. Yes.
That's all I care about.
Okay.
What do you?
Oh no! When you're saying north, I'm thinking the mountain north.
No, just north from where we are.
Yeah, no, definitely north from where we're at.
Because that's the direction it was in. Yes. Okay, so
Yes.
either way,
It takes several weeks off of our trip, as I just said.
if I go in and I do a little hot motion.
Through it, yes.
Okay, cool, sweet.
Manzarek has spoken.
So where we go?
Wow. That was a lot.
Other than the tree, what else might be on the other side?
Does it really matter?
Are there other Gripply populations in that area?
No, the only Gripply that we're aware of exist only here in the Martrekian swamp.
Ragnar, you seem stressed.
Will we be able to come back through that portal if something goes pear-shaped?
See, the way that we understand this to work is Manzarek has communicated with the Great Tree, with Nuet Abaran, and has summoned from its very roots this same portal on the other side. We believe it to be part of it.
To the
yes.
north, under the tree, where we need to be.
It's somewhere close to the tree.
That's what I was going to ask. Would I know, knowing portal magic and teleportation, like the approximate range of deviation?
You can roll me knowledge nature if you'd like. Haha. Or knowledge arcana, either one.
Arcana's a 22.
With arcana, this is the teleportation magic that has been manifested into a single anchored object. It is a fixed point, though. It is this portal is only able to open here because of the living tree, but on the other end, it is already like pre-decided where that portal is to occur. Manzarek wouldn't have been able to choose that. There is only a certain naturally occurring place of druidic magic that this would have allowed to occur.
So this isn't like the teleport spell where there's a range of like error.
No, it is a fixed point.
Okay.
Whether that puts you right at the base of the tree or somewhere where its roots extend, which is
Everywhere?
everywhere.
Oh, that makes me feel so much
Yes.
better.
So you feel like the portal is only limited by Manzarek's reach. In that moment, how far he was able to extend out and then pick this is where it goes.
With a 24 nature, I know exactly where it lands. Assume not.
With a 24, you in plus you were in that moment. You saw it happening.
Yeah.
You could see the great tree in the distance, but you know that you're not going to be right there. But you are in the Verdant Plains. You are skipping over probably, you're guessing 2 weeks of travel?
If I were to do a knowledge geography, remembering that spot, would I be able to guesstimate how far the tree is?
Yes, absolutely.
Or would it be a knowledge geometry?
Be at a 30.
Wow.
Knowledge trigonometry.
Trigonometry.
Trigonometry?
So something that you noticed in your vision is there are 2 major rivers that run down. It's called the Azulian Divide. And it feeds down from the Lefarium mountain range down towards the tree, around the base of the tree, continues, and then it forks out and creates 2 separate rivers. One being the Hydra, the other being the Dragon. These 2 separate rivers come back together before they feed into Martrek. This connection, this river point connection, is about 200 miles from the Great Tree, which means you could still see the Great Tree 200 miles away, and you saw that focus point of the river.
Okay.
Where it divides.
I relayed this information. That's where we're at. That's where it'll take us. 200 miles, give or take. A couple dozen.
And piggybacking off of that knowledge geography, the Verdant Plains are relatively flat. It is a wide open area that you will be traveling, and so it's very little navigation over hills, mountain ranges, things like that. There's very little in the way that you couldn't just follow one of the 2 forked rivers all the way to the tree.
I know which one the 2 rivers is secret.
Roll me another knowledge geography.
29.
Wow.
I rolled should roll an 18 and a 19.
My geography's not that great. I mean, it's pretty.
An 11's
Decent.
pretty good.
With a 29, you do know that the easiest river to navigate is the Hydra, and it is on the western side. But with ease of navigation comes travelers. It is the most traveled river there is. So there are chances that you'll probably find outposts along the way where you can rest or do trading or something like that. But there's also the risk of encountering things or people that you don't want to encounter. That's just the trouble of that kind of thing. You stop that. The dragon is a little windier, and it's not as smooth and straight of a path, and people avoid that more often than normal. Do you have knowledge local?
I don't think so. No, I do not.
Okay, and so with that, you know less about the dragon. You just know it is windier, and so instead of hugging the river like you would do the Hydra all the way, there are parts of it where it winds way out and then back, and you would have to skip that. You would leave the safety of hugging the riverbank to walk another 15 miles before you got to the next bit, because it would add days onto your journey to hug it.
It's favored by motorcyclists.
That's just the tip.
No, it's
This is true.
Fancy
Da-da-da-da-da.
Have you ever been to the Verdant Plains?
Well, you traveled the.
I would have traveled through it, but I don't really.
That would be like.
Yeah.
That'd be like I had a layover in Chicago, which means
Yeah.
I was in Chicago.
I walked through it once.
Did you get a t-shirt?
No. What
And
a
it doesn't
t-shirt?
I traveled the Verdant Plain. All I got was this t-shirt.
Is there,
It's just green.
green speaker,
It's a
is
shot
there,
glass.
are there any dangers we need to be aware of on the plane? Anything we should be falling out of the sky?
She says, unfortunately, all of our knowledge is limited to what we've heard from travelers coming through. None of us have ventured outside of Montreux. It's again strictly custom to leave the swamps that we were born in.
And you did it anyways.
I've done it more than once.
And I'm about to do it again.
This is number
So,
3.
this portal here being open on the other side, doesn't that leave you open to ambush or attack or unwanted visitors?
She says, possibly. This portal, we're not certain how long it will stay open, if it will ever close. She says, but thanks to you, thanks to Manzarek and to all of you, we are not defenseless. If there's anyone that wants to come through here to start trouble, we will be ready for them.
Here, here.
It might be wise to send quickly through after us. So we'll be on the other side.
Jinx stands up and she says, that is something that we've already thought of. She says, the Death Touch have volunteered to step through the portal and start an encampment on the other side.
So I can keep segregated.
Gotta keep them
Will
separated.
our group be the first ones to step through, though?
She
Before?
nods.
Is there any sort of anything you want us to mark out for you when you come after us that will help you out in selecting a location?
She says, if it's on a cliff's edge and you fall 150 feet onto solid rock, maybe come back through and warn us about that.
Oh, that'll be.
So
got
we
it.
need to go through
I'll
first.
just go ahead and go.
So is it just is it just like a
wing?
blank? Is it just like a blank, formless circle with nothing? You
It's
can't
a
see
pulsing green.
and you can't see anything through it.
No, you think Rick and Morty?
It's not like the New York.
I'm gonna stick
Scotland,
my
like-
head through first. Is what I'm gonna do.
She extends her hand. She says, unfortunately, it's not for you to step through first. Manzarek has opened the portal.
Going in as a bird.
That's a weird sentence. Weird choice, but cool.
That somehow makes
Beforehand.
sense.
You have entered a fear that was not there before.
Just pick him up, throwing.
Fly, frog, fly.
Comes out underwater. This is a bad choice.
Unless you're that bird from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I'm gonna be.
Which at the end of the movie they threw out of Santa's sleigh without a parachute.
I'm just gonna be a swan.
Just in case.
Wow.
cover
That
all
way
my
it
bases.
doesn't.
I like a new fear.
I'm a waterfowl, so I've got 2 of them covered.
You can walk. Alright.
Oh, this is wonderful.
Do we want to leave now, or is there more that we need to discuss?
I'm still eating.
Let's take your time. I'm afraid.
One tubby.
She says, as we've stated before, you are all here as far as we're concerned. She said, we know you have your own pilgrimage to go on, your own journey and quest to complete, your own storylines that are yet to be written. She says, but you all are going to bear witness, as we are going to state, that if Manzarek ever chooses to come back to the Martrekian swamps, he will be welcomed as one of the chiefs.
He's like,
Yeah, no, this is important.
Yeah, that's cool and everything, but listen.
Are we gonna go through MR or MR? I don't know how to pronounce it. I wrote it down.
Where he's from?
No. That is to the west. You would have to cross over the Hydra to get to him. Yeah. But I mean, like,
If you want to, we can.
that would probably be like 2 weeks. It will take you a week of safe, easy travel where you're at to get to the Great Tree. It'll take you 2 weeks from the Great Tree to get to Amon.
Okay, cool. I will be back. I promise. Going back to that, but I really wanted to get that out of the way.
Say it in the right voice.
I did. No.
Your mother extends her hand out and she touches you on the shoulder and she looks at you. She says, I doubted the choices that you had made, Manzarek. Becoming a druid, leaving Martrek. I always loved you as a son, but I doubted you. And for that, I'm sorry. I want you to know that I'm proud of you. You're one of my favorite of the 200 sons that I have.
Wait,
top
one of?
20.
I'm not
20
number
at
one.
least.
Take
I
that,
killed
Jimmy.
Ulrich.
Yeah, but your cousin's a doctor.
I'm your cousin? Whoa. Whoa.
You're the only doctor.
L'chaim. All right. So.
Your cousin, he became a doctor.
I'm very proud.
You never visit.
Cool.
All right,
Well.
Chief, we ready?
Still eating.
Yeah, finish eating.
She says, you are welcome to stay as long as you would like. She says, Mark, the life here in Kakarikikit village is going to continue on as it always has. We're going to rebuild, welcoming in refugees that have escaped the Bogard attacks. And we will continue, from what we've learned from it, to increase our forces to make sure this will never happen.
Might be wise to send human settlements to the south that were Bogard that were in those cities. Or at least the one that we came in through.
You see Jinx go, really?
Oh, yeah.
We can do that. This whole portal thing can wait.
Half the death touch will go through the other half.
Get on.
I'm becoming
Bogard.
I'm becoming Covert Arms.
Love it.
Initiation, you have to bring back a Bogart head.
Oh.
Is this enough?
Are we the
He's
bad
got a
guys
string
now?
of them.
Pick one.
I got a blue one, and another blue one, and a blue one.
Ragnar, they all had green heads. What did they
What are those?
Who did you kill?
I don't know. Just don't.
You said bards, right? They're easy to find.
I've got
Well,
one.
he's got at least one.
Heyo.
I'm a forward hunter.
Bye.
Alright, so
No.
after we're ready,
He sits and enjoys his life. He's like having casual
we will leave
conversation.
you.
You missed it. Ragnar straight up went.
we can leave film. Let's just go.
Sometimes like flip
We
around.
physically do not need film.
There's a Gripply with like a serving tray, and Damon's just talking to her, making pleasant conversation. And she keeps trying to leave, but because she doesn't understand what he's saying, she's just like. It's
Every introvert's worst nightmare.
Oh no.
Sort
I
of grabbed Damon by the shoulder.
Turn into a trumpeter swan. I'm model for it.
Do-do-do.
Not as exciting as everybody would have liked, but there's a lot
Not
of
a
fear all of a sudden.
pterodactyl?
I know they're all
No,
lined
this
up
time.
outside the portal in some sort of ceremonial formation. You just kind of.
That scene from Aristocats where they're just like dancing. This is my favorite thing. Talk amongst yourselves.
Ragnar, why are you so nervous about going now? Anxious. Not nervous.
I'm not anxious.
You seem anxious.
I'm excited.
Mm,
We're getting rid of another head. That's the problem
okay.
with the world. What? Why does that not like? How is that not happy?
You just seem so. Why are you so anxious about having to go north right now?
It's not anxious. It's excited. Big difference. One starts with an H, and one starts with an E.
Uh-huh.
I would never have known that about you. You can spell.
Wait, what?
What?
What is happening? I don't know if that's a
This
date
is
or
what
if
happens when you
that's
turn us
something
loose.
But the fact that we're getting to go deal with another head because we dealt with the one in Dreamport.
How do you know there's one there?
Well, we kind of.
We pretty much assumed that Melkar was one.
Because of.
Well, we know Melkor was one. How do you know there's one at the big tree?
Ramsay said
right,
there was
right.
one at the tree.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, you were here.
I'm sure.
Deja
It's
vu.
been weeks.
A lot
admittedly.
has happened.
Yeah.
We know for
I was
a fact
attacked by
there's one
hags. I was chased by the Kamatamora. That was scary.
there. And from what I
On the
believe
back
that
of
you
Lily?
said on your dream, there's 4 heads that we have to deal with.
Forehead, 5
Four.
keys,
Yeah, but the 4 heads.
2
we have
turtle
to get
doves,
rid
and a
of the
partridge
4
in a pear
heads.
tree. What else?
Yeah.
There's
Really
4 heads.
hoping-
We have 1 head. We need 3 more.
I am hoping we don't have to do what my dad did.
Which is?
What did they do?
Go after the ancient esoteric nightmare dragon.
That's too many adjectives.
Yes.
I know you've said this before. It's still too many adjectives.
How did they go after it?
It's a lot of
With
templates.
Tom Stater.
Okay, but how did they get it?
I don't know. They failed originally in the vision, the dream that I had.
A dream?
Yeah. The dream within a dream.
Oh.
See, I was thinking
But
about
it's-
chunks and circle and logo. Good.
I wonder.
Yeah, concept. No,
What
we need to
what-
seal
what
away
if-
this overpowering evil with a teddy bear. And just really, it's not a phrase I ever thought would be uttered by me.
But, alright, so hear me out. What if, whenever someone's took over a lot of black blood, their torches, whenever the black blood's gone, they come back. Because, as we've seen with it in Driftwood, no one recalled anything once they took over.
Right, no, like blackout.
Yeah, they're in wherever, right? So, what if they get sent to this realm?
So wait, do you recall now what happens when you go all crazy and psycho, right?
Yeah, I recall everything.
But you didn't at first.
I didn't realize it was happening. I guess is the way to word that. Now it's like I'm trapped inside my own body. But I give it
That's very verdant.
I'm giving it the control for the power.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like I choose to let it happen,
Mhm.
but I can't make any choices.
That is not Minzerk.
Okay.
This is Minzerk.
But I physically want it's like
It is Minzerk.
imagine
Is it? No, that's annoying.
being trapped inside of a really tiny cube
That is.
and
That's
watching
Dom.
everything happen
That's
and you
Minzerk.
have zero control over it
Oh,
and
no,
it's
Minzerk.
you. Kinda.
So you think that
I
the
come out as a swan, and there are things to greet me.
Bad things to greet you.
I wish I wasn't a swan. I wish it was something less tasty.
Oh, that's a lot.
We're all gonna wait 10 minutes before we step to the portal to help him.
I hope he's having fun.
We'll just get out there.
I would have turned into something much scarier.
This
by
is why
then.
he said, "Oh,
giant
this will be
swan.
interesting." Whenever you said, "I'm going to go in as a swan,"
That's a lot.
he never said it was going to be easy. He also didn't state that we had to go through it now.
he's putting a lot of things out there.
Y'all chose to do this.
Yay.
You know what's even better?
I'm gonna turn into an allosaur.
You're going to spend a whole turn to change into something else
I prepped all my spells for
while being
travel.
attacked.
I mean,
I mean, it doesn't
yeah.
provoke, so.
Too bad. Whoopsies.
Here we go.
Who needs Mount Communal?
So, Manzarek, sorry that took so long. I had a thing mislabeled. Manzarek, as you trumpet swan it up, right? You step through the portal. The rest of you begin to have this conversation, waiting on your companion to come through to give you the green light. As you step through, the first thing that you see... Oh, you're just going to show everybody? The first thing that you see is the back of a catfolk. He is dressed in these tight-fitting wrappings that wrap around from his elbow, around both of his hands, from his knees down to both of his paws. He has a short bobtail like that of a lynx or a bobcat. He has kind of this tawny blonde hair with black streaks on the sides of his cheeks and a white poof underneath his chin. He spins around to look at you confused. You see a girl dressed in these heavy robes. She spins to look at you, her face completely covered, and you see two piercing yellow eyes peering out from under her hood.
I recognize those eyes?
You may roll me Knowledge the Plains if you'd like.
Okay.
She spins to look at you, and her feet kind of dig into the dirt like she's scared, And as she jerks like that, something that you notice is from under the bottom of the robe that she is wearing, this cloak that she is wearing, her feet are hooven, very much like Dr. Tony's. But that is not what gets your attention. What gets your attention is directly in front of them are about, I don't know, a dozen. I don't have that many tokens on the board, but about a dozen. A dozen what look to be bandits. They range anywhere from human to half-orc to gnolls. They are surrounding two massive ogres that stand to either side of what looks to be a giant of some kind, but not a giant that you recognize. This giant stands about 12 feet tall. He has glowing blue tattoos that run over his shoulders, down his massive tree trunk-like arms, and he's wielding what looks to be a masterwork club. It looks as if he has taken maybe the femur of some great animal and has carved it into an intricately designed weapon. Those grooves on it stained with blood of past battles that he has partaken in. His hair is shaved on either side of his head with a long ponytail that runs from the top of his hairline all the way down between his shoulders. He looks to you and you feel if the area was darker, those tattoos would glow, and so would his eyes that glow with that same blue. As he turns to look at you, the catfolk looks down at you, looks at the girl in the robes, and says, "Is there a goose?" Why goose? He says.
I honk, I turn around, and I walk back through. We got a problem. Everybody move. How I can still talk. I have done things
It's
that makes it
funny if
possible.
you don't.
I mean, I honk at them. I 100% honk. How big is the portal? How large of a creature can come through the portal?
A large creature, not a huge creature.
So what's on the board?
So Manzara goes through and just...
Technically a huge creature could, they would just have to squeeze.
Is this
Yes, Professor.
is this about to turn into a very deadly battle?
That's for us.
I mean, one way or another.
I'm gonna find you.
How big is the hut?
The hut can house that portal.
Okay.
And it's made for the entire village to come into.
Mother, I need some space.
Nope. Don't do it.
I turn into
Do it.
the woolly rhinoceros thing that I described before. That's not a woolly rhinoceros, but I wrecked some crap.
It's aliens.
And I go back through the portal.
Mechanically, what size is that?
That is a large creature.
Okay.
No, you didn't give us any instructions whatsoever.
I said, get ready to fight.
Okay.
Come on in.
Okay. So, go ahead and place your figures on the board, if you all would please.
Charge!
Reach for it. There you go.
Using the force.
Can you put Ray on our next one?
Nope.
Is that a goose? Is that a rhino?
I mean, it's...
Where do you want it?
I am going to
Somewhere behind.
Just do the
Right beside you.
You're gonna be in the back
I'm going
behind the
to
cat.
cast mage armor before I go in, though.
You may. You have time.
this thing.
Okay.
Okay.
I do not know where Kern's pieces live huge when I was using
Where the normal is.
Less than 12 feet.
Ha!
You can tell.
Thank you kindly.
It's closest to the middle.
Go ahead and roll for
Those
initiative.
are always like, yay, yay.
Same thing.
I didn't use it on that, huh?
I don't know why I keep
I
looking
did
to
it
see
earlier.
when I add to my initiative rolls. Because I don't.
I see you don't subtract it.
I don't subtract anymore. It's the fact that I have to declare
There was a
anymore.
difference is the only reason I'm asking.
Green, blue, whatever.
Tatum.
I wanted to make sure because,
Yeah, I got
details matter to you.
Details do matter. Matters.
It's mostly.
Oh
Hey,
my
I found
gosh, I
something
can
really
do
cool
a thing
today.
that I couldn't do before.
being nice.
Got him. Can you say
No, I can't. Physical involved.
that? The fact that I have heard you say the words "too" and "easy" before.
What are these words?
Parry.
21.
That's it.
I just went through like this whole
Damn it.
scenario
26.
where you bet him like $1,000 you'll never use those words ever again.
Ragnar.
21.
As a math teacher, never saying the word two.
Or easy.
Well, it has to be together as a
And Eric, 20.
Okay.
for $1,000 bitch.
Dr. Tone.
14.
Last.
Yeah. I'm used to my position at the bottom of the tree. Tree? Table? List?
Yes.
Oh,
Turn
really?
into a tree.
Rockdoor
In
position.
flight?
Powers activate.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Indubitably.
Oh my god.
I need to add my drama. What feats do I have? I forgot.
Those
Yeah,
rocks that they're on by chance,
Yeah.
is that difficult terrain?
For them, yeah.
Okay.
And you not have to. What happens? Oh, wait.
And that's where the fun begins.
So you all step out of the portal, filing out, as Manzarek shifts, transforming into this woolly rhinoceros, we're going to call it, as it shifts up, kind of doing that just like shake, the fur rolling off of it. It's naked now. As you are greeted with that same sight that Manzarek had seen. The ogres flanking the hill giant, the gnolls, half-orcs, and humans all surrounding. You see this catfolk turn and he faces you as he is prepared to fight, poised ready to strike. As he looks to you, looks back, and looks back to you again.
They have a threat.
Who are you? He says.
We're with the goose rhino.
I honk. I am very confused, but I'm glad to see you here. he
I'm
says.
looking past him at the other guys.
If any of you care to observe the surrounding area, you see off in the distance to either end, you see a massive river. This river extends out for nearly a quarter mile in width. If you look behind you, you see a small caravan of catfolk. This caravan has probably 4 wagons to it and probably 24 catfolk. These catfolk are armed with very few of them with any actual weapons, but most of them with knives or even sticks as they're getting ready to fight. And the one that's standing there looks like the only one that's really battle ready as he's standing his ground.
And where are they in relation to that?
They are back there because they are non-combatants.
We're over here.
You see the hill giant tilt his head as he looks over at all of you. He says,
And what is this? Visitors from the other side of the portal?
he looks down at the catfolk.
Did you summon these reinforcements?
I say in giant. No, we came from the swamp.
Don't patronize me, tiefling.
He's
He
speaking
doesn't
common.
speak giant.
He is speaking common.
He
Well,
didn't
I guess he's
understand.
summoning ass kicking.
Oh. Oh.
He looks at you and you make eye contact.
Ragnar, is that you?
Oh?
It's been a while. Hasn't it?
Is this the company that you're keeping now? A mixture of animals, children, and a washed-up mercenary, I assume?
I'd be offended if that cared.
Currently, yes.
And here you are with both arms, Ragnar. I'm surprised to see you completely intact. Listen, this is not your fight. You know how this will go.
You're right. I do. Now. And it's not the same way as you would think.
Is that so?
Would you like to test those odds?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
So did you guys like go to school together?
And like,
Stay out of this.
Do they not know? They don't know what you've done, do they, Ragnar? What staked the coils in because of you?
It's none of their business.
Does the hill giant have the tattoo?
He does not.
He says, I see. Barely banded together, you are held together by misconceptions and lies. Are you sure this is the man you want to keep company with?
He says to all of you.
We are simply taking what is rightfully owed to us for passage through this area that this band of gypsies hasn't given us.
Well, how much is it?
He says everything they own.
Well, that's not fair. You usually ask for a percentage for something.
100.
No, I don't argue.
Oh, I don't, but I do know how to demand. These creatures only ever beg, borrow, or steal anything that they want. And might, in the Lefaria mountain range, makes right.
So I
Yes.
will walk up more in the center
Mm-hmm.
and be. Then how about you versus?
What?
I'm sorry. I just saw that for the first time.
Oh yeah, it's a dice roller.
Yeah, it's cool.
Sarah got it for me. Maybe a nat 20 on knowledge geography.
Thanks, Sarah.
That was so cool.
The Lefarium mountain range is north of the Great Tree. Not very far north of it. There's only the Bokvarian forest that separates it. And the Bokvarian forest is large, but the Lefarium mountain range surrounds it and even kind of like half moons down into the Verdant plains. So it even like comes out and the Great Tree is like here, and then it bottlenecks to either side. Hundreds of miles to either side, but to either side. You would know that the Lefarium mountain range is home to orcs, giants, all types of giant kin. So to see giants in the Verdant Plains is odd. Like, they don't come this far south. And to see a giant like this is even more so. If you would like, you can roll me knowledge nature.
I was about to say, can I roll knowledge?
Yes.
This giant. Who for a hill giant seems extremely knowledgeable, and I think he is the storm giant with that one.
With a nat 1? He is a polymorphed mouse. You know this is just a greater illusion.
Oh,
Yes. You know that the way he is speaking is way too well put together.
So it must be a mouse.
Yes, he is
obviously.
Yes.
Only logic.
only a mouse with level and bard could create an illusion like this and throw out such empty insults.
Okay, new character.
29.
29? With a 29, a couple of things you would note. First off, this is a hill giant.
Nice.
But the way he is speaking, the way he is so well put together, he is either exceptionally smart, or with that knowledge, you would deduce that he has Jotun blood. Which is, the Jotun were like the gods of giants. They're who the giants descended from. And some giants today still have that blood running through their veins, which puts them a kind of a level above the rest of their kin. So you are guessing like this guy isn't the brightest bulb in the pack, but compared to hill giants, he's a genius.
What do you do with the
Plains.
business of Jotun blood?
You fight. Winner takes all.
I was hoping you'd say that, Ragnar. By the way, I want to introduce you to some of my friends.
He gestures to either ogre on each side. He says,
This is Rip, and this is Tear. I would like you two to each grab a piece of Ragnar and see who's the strongest by pulling it from the rest of his body.
You see them look at him and then back at you as they give that very dull, very ugly. He says, "Kill him." Top of the initiative. Let a mouse do that. Top of the initiative is Damon.
Do it.
This is the masked, yellow-eyed, cloven.
Let's differentiate them. But yes, you are correct.
That's how I come up with cool things. I'm like, cool, that's cool. You're neat.
Move up there, and I will cast Challenge Evil on the giant.
The giant or the ogre?
The giant.
You may. Do you take any other actions?
There is a save on it.
Okay.
Let's make sure.
Is it a fort save?
It's a will.
That's too bad. 15.
Let me double check. That might meet. This is the first time I used this. So.
Ragnar, you are the next playable character to go.
Are they Ogre? That's who he's targeting. Ogre.
The what?
Ogre.
No.
Okay.
He is. He said he was challenging the giant.
Yeah, he meets it.
Neat.
So, indicates.
You take any other actions?
No, but I still issue a verbal challenge as well.
What do you say?
I say.
Oh my god, this is
Yeah. Point my sword at him. Says, "Call me washed up. I take the offense to that. What if I called you ugly?"
Scathing. Okay, he is challenged.
Got him.
As you issue this, you see there is a wagon off to the side. This wagon is being pulled by two axe-beak birds. They are like chocobos from Final Fantasy, except their bill is a blade. They're just a very large, very strong bird, and very rarely are they domesticated. They're pulling a small wagon that looks different than the other kind of carts or carriages that are just being pulled by mundane horses. The door of this opens up, and you see this Tengu stumble out, bottles falling to his feet as he waddles out, adjusting his hat. He is wearing a very expensive, kind of burnt gold coat with this bright silver lining that runs down the front of it. He is wearing a matching top hat that he adjusts on the top of his head and has an expensive looking cane with an amber colored handle on the top of it. As he stumbles out, the bottle's kind of shifting at his feet. He adjusts his coat. He says, excuse me, he says as he starts making his way over, kicking the bottles. "I couldn't help but hear that there was a bit of action going on here, and I was wanting to be a part of it," he says. As he puts his cane down, he says, "So," he kind of grabs the cane and he draws a sword out from it, and he points at you, Damon, and he says, "Have at thee!" The cat folk says, he says, "What? What?" He says, "The ogres." He says, "The ogres? Whoa, ugly! Have at you!" He says.
That's what I said.
He says, "Oh, an observant one on my side. Yes, haha! Your powers of perception don't fail you, sir."
Is this guy drunk?
Maybe a little bit. That was double his move action. Swift action. He reaches into his coat. He pulls out a vial. He pops it. He drinks it. All right. And from him, Ragnar.
So I take step back and pull out a vial myself and drink it. And it's a large person.
Oh, scary. Oh.
So I go back up to that.
Neat.
And I look at him and be like, I do have one thing that's changed. You'll meet him soon.
He has
And I
love in
just-
his heart. Oh, that's not what it was.
No, it's where he changes it and his arms just really long and it completely extends back and draw the sword. And it's just Ragnar.
Well, he's going to let me have all the fun. How do you think this is going to turn?
He grins a wicked grin and he says,
I was afraid that the rumors were lies. I'm glad to see you in person.
do you take any other actions?
Is pulling that out and drinking it a standard? Sadly,
Okay. Perry. Scary Harry Perry.
Can I climb atop this rock?
You may,
How high is it?
yes. That rock is 10 feet high.
Can I acro up it? Acrobat?
If you have a climb check.
Acrobatic?
Acrobatic? No.
Why not?
It is 10 feet high.
Okay. Gotta roll like what?
50.
A 40.
Like 40? That's almost in the realm of possibility. I levitate up it. And for my new vantage point, I will need. Do you have your handy dandy guide of circles?
Do I have that? It's gold.
Minzeric, you're the next playable character.
It's 20 feet, right? Or is it 30?
That's the 20. First thing he does is lob a nuke.
Which is all of this. I lob a nuke.
The bat.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you lay it down, it's anything that Ragnar touches.
Yes.
What about that shadowy place?
We don't talk about that.
Bruno?
He'll need a dex.
A dex save?
Reflex.
A reflex?
A reflex.
A reflex dex?
Reflex dex.
Okay. This is for both ogres. 14.
Nope.
4.
No.
Okay. This is for the Jotunblood Hill Giant. 15.
Nope.
Oh boy. And I'm just going to roll for the bandits as a collective. Because time. How about an 8? How does that sound?
Sounds wonderful. Being honest
Did you just kill everyone?
No.
No, surely
it's
not.
If the circle touches their tile.
Which circle?
Which circle?
The outer red circle.
The farthest one?
Yes.
That's a 20-foot radius. It is sometimes misunderstood how big of a
I
circle
would need
that
you
is.
to roll me for spell
Oh, that's
resistance.
delightful.
Okay. On all of them?
No.
It's gotta be at least a 21.
Well, spell resistance usually
Rolled an 18.
plus 8.
Plus my modifier, plus 8.
Is it plus your modifier or just plus your
It
spell?
is, we did this
Okay,
last week.
you're good.
So
Yeah, it's
that's
pretty easy.
10, 20, 29 points of fire damage.
29, you say?
29.
To each one of them.
And they all die.
Fun. Is that fireball?
It is fireball.
Whoa!
Most effective.
Good lord.
29, you say?
Yes.
Lord, may you find here.
And Perry's eyes just get all big and wide.
That actually
We
worked!
never had that conversation.
A massive explosion as the ogres shield themselves. You see the Jotunblood kind of cover his face as it washes over him. The bandits disappear in a flash of fire and brimstone as all that's left of them is charred skeletons. The hill giant looks over at you.
Powerful company you keep, Ragnar.
Especially for a child, right?
You take any other actions? Manzeric.
Did you take offense to that, dude?
Well, after seeing that, I'm not gonna cast any spells because, like,
Can't.
That
You're
seems-
a holy rhinoceros.
totally can.
You actually can. This is a druid.
This is a Disney movie?
It's a druid feat. You can still cast and talk. while
That's
in motion.
hilarious.
But he has hooves.
Yeah. Don't ask me questions. He's turned into a giant woolly rhino. I don't know why he
With
can cast.
hooves.
It doesn't make sense that a rhino casts magic.
In this
I'm
fantasy world.
He
I'ma
just
move
threw a
up.
fireball at people. Why he's
I'm gonna move up to this guy
I want to be unicorn. Yeah.
You threw a fireball.
This
at
guy?
Dog
That's gonna
demons,
provoke getting to him.
giants. And you're questioning whether a rhino can cast spells?
I'm not questioning anything.
Alright, here comes the pain train.
You don't have a reach, do you? As your guy?
I do, yeah.
Do you want to not
That's because
move
probably
through
with
his?
Nat 20?
Oh yeah, I do have range. I don't have to move through his. I have reach.
14 feet?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh my. Does a 16 hit him?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Ducking your head, you charge at him. He swings his club down. It hits into the end of your horn. Your horn splinters through his club as he digs into the ground and you shove him back and he is just pushing against you.
Rialto is going to move up to that guy close.
And chow
Going
down.
to try to eat him.
Please no.
Please, yes.
Not 15?
No.
Okay, so. Okay. And that's his turn?
Neat. This fun little guy. Let's see, kitty. He is going to provoke an attack of opportunity by running up. Yeah.
Did I already provoke?
If they don't.
He did. You did.
He's still.
He's with the other one's right
Yeah, he doesn't. No, he does. He's entered into it, but he hasn't moved inside. Does he have combat reflexes? Probably not. If he's an augur. Yeah, no, he does
I thought
not
he was
have
a
that
mouse.
thing.
I thought it was a mouse.
No, this guy's the most.
No,
Miska,
so those-
Muska, Musketeer.
Those are otters then, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something completely different.
I feel like you ought
Ochre?
to know that.
Running up, he's
Hey,
going to punch.
Oh, he's.
That one.
Oh, geez.
Cool, thanks. I love building
Hit the rhino.
characters that are
Hit the
incompetent.
rhinoceros.
Uh,
Is it Jason?
yeah, I'm gonna punch him in there.
Net
Why? 26?
Yeah. I have no armor right now.
Oh.
6 points in it. He runs up, spinning a kick at the ogre. As you charge in, hitting the ogre, you push him back, and the catfolk slams down against like the back of your neck. As he's like, whoa! He stops. He says, "I'm sorry, woolly cow." He says as he pets you.
Holy cow.
Honk. Hey, honk. Honk. I'm sorry, furry goose
I
cow.
haven't spoken yet.
That's more right.
I mean, I guess
You kind of cast a spell. No, you didn't cast a spell.
You did?
I was going to.
The girl in the cloak touches your back, Damon.
Oh my.
Unless you'd like to save.
Resist it.
No, I'll go and take it.
Dr. Tone.
Let's give these people NPCs to help them out.
Oh, where'd you go
Get bigger.
from? So I was prepping myself for travel, so I wouldn't have explosive bomb. Because of that. So the guy behind the ogre, I'm not moving. The guy behind the ogre. Nope. That guy. I'm gonna throw a bomb at him with a -2 to his stuff. So I'm throwing with a -2 because he's 2 range weapons.
Okay.
But I'm trying to touch him. Not great. So that is a 9 to touch. Okay.
Wow, we were pulling one off.
Where would you start if I was doing a thing of 8 around him? Because I hit a tile around him in a pattern of 8. So where would you start with 1 through 8?
I could have you roll a d8.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
So I rolled a 1.
Oh, okay. I see what you're asking. We'll say 1 is here.
Okay, so it touches the tile, not him.
Yeah.
So they take the impact, the AoE damage, but not the not the direct impact. So they need to make a dex save.
Both these guys?
Yeah.
Okay. The Verdant is going to get a 15. Yeah. And the Ogre is going to get a nat 20.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Assume he saves, so go ahead and he'll take 6 points, half to 3.
The Bandit?
Yeah.
Okay. You throw a vial. The vial hits, explodes out. The bandit kind of, as he like puts out his foot, he's like, The ogre just kind of stands there as like his butt catches on fire. It's like, and he's just kind of like, Do you take any actions?
Pork roast.
The bandit's turn. Oh yeah. This one's going to attack Rayado. Does a 21 hit Rayado?
It is not.
Oh, that's not good.
For 15 times my DC.
Does a 15 hit Rayado? Does a 24 hit Ragnar?
Oh yeah.
Nice. You take 5 points of damage. As he fires with his crossbow, with his move action, he reloads. This guy is going to attack Rayado, provoking an attack of opportunity from Ragnar.
Does Ragnar take it?
No. And this guy is going to try to
21.
attack the cat folk. Yes, that will strike your opponent.
Yeah, cleft in twain.
Oh man.
34.
As he starts to run towards Rayado, his sword in hand, he runs up at the raptor and he says, "Take this, you ugly bird!" And then suddenly an axe blade just comes down. Dust kicks up. Some of the dust is brown, some of it's pink. Oh yeah, he didn't like even get to that square. You're just like,
I have 50 foot of reach.
oh yeah, no, I know. Yeah. The ogre gets splattered with it. The ogre's like, oh, oh. What? What? I'm sorry. I did a thing. I did a dumb.
And he's bigger than that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. That's acceptable.
Unacceptable.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a lot bigger than I thought.
He reaches over to this pile of rock. He grabs a piece off of it and rends it from the face of the boulders. He yucks it over at Ragnar.
He ain't gonna hit me.
That one.
25.
Oh yeah.
He hit you.
With his best shot.
Dealing 19 damage as the boulder slams thankfully into your head. It hits and just kind of like shatters and rocks like just go flying back as you're just kind of like, and a little blood trickles from your eyebrow.
Oh.
And that's all he's going to do.
You're a scary person, by the way.
This is coming at Manzarek, 20 even.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay. Dealing 15 points of damage. This one is swinging at Damon. 20 even. He swings at you with his great club, and you just kind of check him with your shield as it, and he's like, and you just kind of like tank it, but it like bounces him back as he's like, what's your strength, by the way?
Right now it's 20.
That was a rookie number. He didn't get to
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm only human.
After all.
Same.
Top of the initiative, Damon.
Oh, I also. So, you know Colossus. All of a sudden, my skin just kind of ching, 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 ching as I cast Iron Skin.
Oh my.
And as a.
Okay, Amos, okay.
As a swift action, I smite the giant. The giant is smitten.
You taking an action?
No, those are all my actions.
Okay. Oh boy. This is a thing I get to do. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, there's no reason for him to do anything else. The Tango steps up. He kind of like does this swift side shuffle step as he steps around Rayado and he thrusts his sword into the bandit. Striking the bandit. Dealing enough damage. As he thrusts the blade into the bandit's heart, the bandit takes it and looks down at it, and you see that was a very precise strike. It wasn't like he just swung and hit him. He hit him directly in the heart, and he draws back, and the bandit kind of and then drops, and then blood spatter, or he like swings the blood off the blade of his cane.
Did it appear as though he was studying his target before that happened?
No.
Oh.
It appears as if he did some kind of precision damage on top of his actual attack.
Right, but he didn't study his target before.
Oh, study! Yes, he did do that thing.
Yes, interesting.
I thought you said stunned.
No.
No, he studied.
Yeah,
that was a
okay.
thing.
Yeah, okay. As if I've played a character like that before.
Ragnar.
Okay, so hear me out. I can hit him over top of the smaller guy. Yeah.
You would need to make a 5-foot step.
No, I wouldn't. I have lunge
Okay.
as a feat, so I get to act as if I lunge 5 feet forward, making my attack 20 feet from where I'm at.
Neat.
I just get a negative AC that's already trash anyways. So
If they're gonna hit you
Why not?
anyways,
So-
might as well.
going on a full round. Do that.
You can full round lunge.
Yeah, you just take negative penalty your AC to increase your reach of melee by 5 feet.
Okay.
It's a fair trade, but
We're already gonna get hit no matter what. So the first one is a 31,
Yeah.
and the second one is a 10.
No.
Yeah, I can. I need one more. I'm rolling all of these.
Parry to the next playable character
Yes.
to go.
Ah, it's not in there. Go to your home. 34 damage.
Delicious.
If it matters, 2 of it is fire.
Delicious.
Which is
You swing your axe out. It extends out over the ogre, or over the bandit past the ogre. The hill giant sees it coming. He holds up his arm and your blade sinks into his arm. You go to pull it back to hit him with the second one. As he reaches out and grabs the shaft of your axe, keeping you from doing your second attack before he lets go, maintaining eye contact with you.
Play with me.
Parry.
He just said nope.
I am torn.
I'm in danger.
I will kill them all.
I cast kill them all.
It was an 8 hit.
power.
Hit who?
Yes. for to kill them all, obviously.
Mass power would kill.
Mass power.
Oh my gosh.
Unfortunately, it doesn't differentiate between allies and enemies.
I'm the mythic one.
So everyone.
Didn't stutter. You said I kill everyone.
So I need everyone.
Oh, I'm rubbing
I
off
got
on him too much.
Probably.
I'm gonna cast invisibility.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I think I'm running. Get here.
You are currently levitating.
I'm on top of the rock.
So using levitation just.
Use momentum to propel me forward. I can't levitate horizontally unless I'm impacted by my force. But unless I'm impacted by another force, I'll continue to go.
Some guy named Isaac said a long time ago that equal and opposite forces.
You need me to roll a stealth? Or no?
You didn't proclaim
I'm
you
not,
did.
but I'm invisible.
Yeah.
So my natural.
That gives you a 20, so he would have to roll above that to know where you are generally.
It'd be my passive at that point.
Passive
Adds
So
20.
46.
But I thought it would just be base because unless you're stealthing, your passive stealth isn't a thing.
Is it not?
I don't think so. I think you just have to have a 20 to have an idea where somebody is.
You think the rogue was?
I don't know if you can use passive in combat.
Yeah.
I don't think passive works in combat.
No.
It also
It
begs to differ
does-
though, unless they
No,
can physically
passive-
see invisible creatures. They can't see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't see him,
You have to actively stealth.
but you can still attempt to perceive an invisible creature where he's at. So if he swings on parry, you'd still have to stick it.
Yeah.
Normally, you make a stealth check as part of movement, so it doesn't take a separate action.
So him moving at all would require himself.
He'd still be moving half speed.
I would.
You have full speed stealth, fast stealth, quick stealth, fast quick stealth.
Fast, quick, fast, quick. That's my action.
001110101.
You take another action.
I've used a standard and a move.
Okay. Benzeric.
Alright. Does a 29 hit him?
Oh yeah. It hits him a bunch. You rend back. As you do so, the club's jerked out of his hand. It flies past you and hits behind you as the ogre's like, oh. You kind of like maintain that eye contact where you're like, because you can't look at him straight forward. You then thrust up, hitting him in the lower part of the abdomen. It comes out of the low of his back as you just kind of send him toppling over to one side, an inert mass of mangled, impaled flesh as you rend your horn from his big fat body.
Nice.
Do you take any actions?
I don't. However, Rihanna will take a 5-foot step.
Oh, please.
That slightly changes what I was going to do.
And tries to eat him.
You may.
Does a 14.
Hit the ogre?
Yeah.
No.
Does a 23.
Yes.
Okay. Does a... That misses. Does a 25.
Yes.
Does a... That misses. Cool. That's going to be 8. That's going to be 12 points of damage.
Okay. Rayado runs up, leaping onto the ogre's face. The ogre's...
Oh, hey!
The ogre's arms are so thick and kind of stubby that he can't reach up to grab this raptor as it starts just tearing into his face. And you're like, that's why he has poor hygiene, because he can't touch his head. He tries to grab the raptor as you just see kind of like chunks of red start flying off of him, and the ogre falls backwards. And is dead.
That is dead.
Do you take another action?
That'll be it.
All right. All right. Time to redeem yourself, little catfolk guy.
Do it.
It's not one.
Why do all my cool characters suck?
We've been asking that for decades.
Yeah, that'll still.
That won't even hit!
Singular. Decade.
That's what I said.
That will hit. That will not hit. Why does everything suck?
Everything is missing. One of these things is not like the other.
He runs up to the bandit, throwing a kick, hitting the bandit in the side. As he starts throwing punches, you can tell he has trained a lot in his life, but it seems like he's never seen real combat. He doesn't know what's going on.
Oh, I do. I really do. Oh, I'm going now.
Do it.
I just want to throw this out here.
Do it.
You should give me some bow strength.
Bow strength.
That's some
bull.
bullshit right there.
I heard it when I said it, and I was like, I love it.
She looks at you. You see her kind of like hesitate. She looks you up and down. She touches you. True strike.
Oh,
Because you missed terribly with your throw the last time.
I rolled a 4.
That could have been
Now
a
it will be a
24.
24.
No.
And that's all she does. Dr. Tone.
Use your 20.
I just look at her and just say, thank you. I pull out a bomb, switching out faith because I can do that. Kind of. I have the Tanglefoot bag in Discovery, so my bomb is a Tanglefoot bag as well as a bomb.
Neat.
So they have to roll to not be entangled in the floor. I'm going to hit the big guy.
Okay.
Touch. He and the other guy will need to make a dexterity saving throw to not be entangled. That is a 20. Does it add 20 or 2?
That's 20.
20.
Is there a spell resistance as well?
Yes. Well, for him, yes. I think a 10-foot bag isn't magic.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think my bombs are magical in nature. I
They're
create
all
chemical
chemical.
reactions that causes.
Yes, but
Scientific.
alchemists put their natural magic
I'm
into
looking it
them.
up. If it's a supernatural not spell, so it does not cost spell resistance.
Soon not spell.
21
We'll say.
for the big guy. And the other guy, 14.
He's entangled.
All right.
The big guy will take 11 points of fire damage.
Okay.
The little guy will take 6.
Delicious.
Yummy.
As this like bomb explodes and glue just goes everywhere.
Yummy, yummy.
She goes. Yeah. She doesn't say that. She just touched you.
She's mute.
The bandit is going to swing at the catfolk gentleman. That will not strike him.
How?
The bandit will swing to pick that from.
Oh, it's the Tinker that's abilities. Okay. I was like, there's no one around him. Sorry.
Rhino.
Red who hate. The raptor's terrifying. They're going to start shooting crossbow bolts at it.
Yay.
10. 18.
Both of those will hit me.
They start shooting at
10 would hit you? Oh my gosh.
They start firing at Rayada, who's just picking at this ogre. He looks up with like part of a jaw in his mouth as he looks up at them.
Just slowly
I take a lot
lowers
of
crossbow.
offense to that.
No.
The giant looks at you and he says, I think this is worth a second encounter, Ragnar. And he melds into the earth.
Well, why? Bro.
I almost picked the thing that made where he couldn't do that.
What you should have done?
You know what that means? Nothing. The ogre's turn. Damon.
You're the ogre now.
The ogre now.
You and Ragnar are the closest thing to an ogre now.
Okay, I'll go up to the ogre.
Do it.
He's ugly too.
He hits the ogre.
I can see the ogre.
Let this
I
happen.
am.
No, I'm just kidding. The ogre, I know the ogre's dead.
Okay. I was like,
No, I'm gonna wander up to that bandit.
Oh,
squeeze past my companions.
oh
though.
please.
Scoozy.
I lean down close to him. give you one chance to run.
Do it.
Intimidate.
Do you even need to?
Oh, he can. With 23.
Hang on. Let
Lance
cook.
He falls over
Oh.
into glue.
into glue.
Oh gosh.
Did you not pay attention to what happened?
That was your only chance.
I don't hit him because at this
Yeah,
point,
he drops his weapon and
Yeah.
he's done skis.
It's unfortunate.
When that happens, you see the other two bandits drop their crossbows and they attempt to run away. It's almost an immediate action when they do it. Do you want to pursue them? You are all effectively out of combat.
Oh, I murder this
Their
guy.
speed?
Oh, by the time they get down off the rock, you all could circle that boat.
Oh, yeah, we're not letting them leave.
So they attempt to climb down off of the boulder. They're like,
If they start climbing back up, I cast communal spider climb, and we can all just get up.
they.
If they don't, I'm not doing that. But
So these bandits, like,
This is their job, man.
well, the thing is, you've been murdering them like with one hit. These guys are next to harmless to you, as like they start to come down and you all just surround them and they.
I pick the guy up out of the glue.
Ah, my legs!
Oh no.
I pick half of the guy up out of the glue.
If nobody
He's
else
dead,
will,
Jim.
I will 100% murder each one of them.
Whoa, okay. No.
Whoa.
There's no need for that.
No need.
I think we should let the caravan decide what happens.
24 to hit. You gonna step in front of it?
Yeah, I'll take it.
No, which one do you step in front of? So I can position myself between me and the bandit.
40. Yeah, I'm still standing.
So you go to swing, you see this happening as you move in front of the bandits. Your axe sinks into Manzarek's side as he screams out. Or he honks out.
He will immediately end rage form.
Good.
Said he wouldn't do it. He did it anyways.
Why did you let them interfere, Ragnar? We could have so much more fun than this.
So Damon
just
is
ignore him.
Damon's not okay with that. And he walks up and he grabs. You're not wearing a shirt, are you?
No, I have some armor on.
Oh, okay. He grabs Ragnar by saying like, "What was that about?"
It's the other half of me. He wouldn't stop.
Is this gonna be a problem?
It won't be anymore.
Oh, Ragnar, don't be that way. Don't let him talk to us like that.
I just ignore him.
Who was that? You hear from the abyss.
I push you away and say, "Tend to him."
Turn back into a frog and just like.
Whoa! The catfolk goes, whoa!
I'm gonna roll a heal check on him.
6.
I feel so much better.
Excuse me, but your goose can turn into a furry cow and a frog.
What a druid Gribbly can turn into a furry cat. A furry goose and a frog.
A druid?
Yeah.
They're back! Oh, this is wonderful news! He says, we thought you had gone.
Who are gone?
Wood. The druids are gone.
Are you a druid? He says, kind of stepping back, like as if he doesn't trust you.
I honk.
The girl walks up, touching his shoulder. He looks up at her. She stands probably a head taller than him. He looks back at the rest of you. Who are you and what are you doing? The rest of the catfolk begin to kind of like approach.
Travelers from afar, who are you?
He says, my name is Joe. Joe Virisman. He says, part of the gypsy caravan, or so you gathered.
We have a name. He's my replacement.
Oh my goodness.
The traveler.
So many names. He says, we are called the Glaring.
What do you glare at?
A glaring is a group of cats. Multiple species of cats.
No, my nature is high. I feel like I should have.
That's what I'm saying. We
But
should
I
have known
didn't-
this.
I didn't know that. This one is to
Or rather, the name is derived from that.
What do you want to do with them? I kind of nod over at the huddled group of wetting their pants bandits.
He says, the same thing I believe they were going to do to us. He walks over to them. He starts taking their stuff. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. He says, oh, that's very nice. Yes. Ah, yeah. It's like way too big for him. He's like, thank you. Oh, yes. He says, oh, is this a gift for your daughter? There it is. Tell her you're sorry you didn't have it. He says as he starts taking all their stuff.
And they're not gonna do anything because I'm standing right behind them watching.
Detect alignment. No, not
The rest of the cat folk like swarm around all of you and start looting the bodies.
I feel like they're the bandits at this point.
He says, oh, no, we never take from innocent people.
I like the wording of that.
Neat.
He says, oh. He says, by the way, this is my sister, Zalia. She bows.
Tiefling?
You can deduce. Yeah, that's the closest thing that you believe she'll be. But we're going to go ahead and see how this resolves after we take a short break. We'll be right back.
Maybe. We're back.
So the cat folk, as stated, start looting the bodies. Jal turns to look at all of you and he says, so where do the strangers come from? What is on the other side of this portal?
A swamp.
Large red swamp, to be precise.
Oh. He kind of examines it. As you all kind of look around, you see, kind of periodically, you see roots, great roots, reaching up from the ground. It extends out as far as the eye can see. They're periodic, some of them closer than others, some of them stretching out for a ways. But these roots seem to kind of come up like great wells out of the water and then back down into the soil. And it seems to extend out, them getting smaller, but not by a lot. And it looks as if this goes on for maybe hundreds of miles. When you look out into the distance, you see it. None of you have ever seen it in person, except for you. But you see the great tree. This tree, it's kind of, the forced perspective is a little odd. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around exactly how far away it is. But you see it in the distance, that kind of haze about it from how far it is. And you see the bottom of it is this deep jade green. And it gets lighter in color as it goes up until it gets to the top where it changes into a band of silver, and then the top of it is completely capped in white.
Like the snow or clouds?
Snow.
Boy, when they say great tree, they are not exaggerating.
Is this the first time you've ever seen the great tree?
Yes.
Sure.
Oh.
What is happening to the druids?
Oh, welcome to our home, the Verdant Bling. He says, I thought you would know. But I was excited to ask you.
When did it disappear?
Some time ago, we're not entirely certain.
Have you been to New Baron recently?
No, we're usually not allowed to go there. No one but the druids are allowed to get close to the sanctum of New Baron. He says, and we've had no reason to go around. It's a long way.
What did you say this happened about maybe 3 or so weeks ago?
What? He says, looking at the ogres, however long it would take for them to come down from the mountains.
What I don't know how
They are
long
on
it
the
take them to come down the mountains.
Knowledge geography.
Can you roll higher than a
10.
20?
You would know that it would take some time and some travel to get down there. How long, you're not entirely certain, but you do know it's farther away than Martrek is from where you are now.
18?
18? You kind of have that same feeling. He says, but someone that may be able to answer your questions better would be my grandmother. She is the leader of the caravan.
She like your sister?
No, she's my grandmother.
I look to the demon name. I forgot.
So, yeah.
Is it like a familiar grandmother, or is it like a gypsy kind of grandmother?
I've known her all my life. Very familiar with my grandmother. We're very close. There's not many of us. There were about to be fewer if you hadn't intervened. You and your goose druid. Your goose red.
It's also
Except
cheap.
this time. Oh my god.
And is this your friend here as well?
It's a sister.
To whom are you gesturing?
The
The Tengu? You see the Tengu is like looking over the bodies. He's like poking one of the ogres, right? He says, he joined our caravan maybe 3 days ago. He said he was traveling to the Great Tree as well and he needed a guide. And this was as far as we were going and he was going past that. By himself.
Random question. We've had issues with trust in the past. Are you bleeding?
You asking if he's bleeding? He says, no, lucky for me, I was not injured.
Friend Derek's bleeding.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah, your
that.
cow got hit hard.
Yeah. we just.
It's not
I'm really
I just-
sorry.
I can explain later if you really need me to. I just need you to. A minor cut. I just need to see a drop of blood.
I can do
Diplomacy
that.
He's bleeding. There's all kinds of blood.
from you. Diplomacy of a 26.
Yeah, there's blood everywhere.
From you.
Oh,
I whip out like a scalpel.
he hands you the body part.
Your hand.
Oh no. I get hurt. What did you roll on diplomacy?
26.
26? He says, but why?
It's an
Okay, but why?
It's an issue of trust. So just like a little prick.
Ow. Okay, and now
Is
I
it
do it.
right?
It is. And now I do it to you.
I show him mine.
Oh, but that I didn't get to do it.
Give him the scaffold.
Oh,
15 on hill. Ah, that's fun. Now your turn.
no.
Yes, we're all friends now. Come be friends. Your friend's not very friendly.
Can I have my scalpel back, please?
He's like, yes.
I'm already bleeding. What's one more?
I have more friends to stab.
I reach down to pluck it from his hand.
The tiefling and
Stop stabbing my friends.
He stabbed me first. I thought it was like a trust thing. Are we not trusting? We don't trust him.
Yeah, debatable. There's been an issue going around, and if you're a bad person, you will bleed this black blood. If you're not a bad person, you will bleed regular blood.
So bad bleeds black blood.
Yes.
Oh,
The freebies of you.
I see. Good.
Yes, go
on.
I'm waiting in anticipation.
Is a good gout green?
I sort of asked the tiefling and the team to also do just a pinprick of.
She does. The Tango, as you turn around, you see he takes his rapier, he cuts his hand. He says, I, as a matter of fact, happen to be quite familiar with this procedure. He says, very clever that you figured it out on your own. And he says, by the way, may I ask you all who you are and what you're doing here? He says, quite an interesting thing you've done coming through this portal. He says as he pokes his cane through. Please don't. Please don't. Right on the other side.
I don't want
You
you to.
should go over there and find out.
I don't want you to stab
Yes,
one of my
go,
friends.
go through and start
Or
hitting the
family.
first thing you see.
He says, have you stabbed him? We don't know. I might need to stab him. He says, but excuse my rudeness. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Taurus Aloysius Corvus, at your service.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Taurus Aloysius Corvus, at your service.
Thanks, Cat.
And some call me the Scrutineer.
Neat.
He says, no, you haven't heard of me?
Where are you from?
That wasn't
I
clever.
am
You can
from
roll knowledge local if you'd like.
So that is
not around here.
10.
10.
I wrote the same thing I wrote for the other one.
Not
That's
10.
16.
22.
Alright, Mr. I have rates of knowledge local.
10?
19, knowledge local?
22.
22?
The rest is
No.
Okay. You two have heard of him.
oh,
As a matter of fact, he's a very he's a distinguished author. Has written several books on diplomacy, especially between nations. He is very wealthy and fancies himself a bit of a diplomat.
But he's not actually
Wait a
considered one?
Like, that's not his job, no, but
your Taurus?
he says, as far as I'm aware, yes.
Several of your books were required reading with the.
You've read my books!
Yes.
Of course you've read my books. A learned man, a scholar and a gentleman, I can tell, he says.
You haven't read his
So
books?
what does a
Oh, he's
diplomat
being
such as
serious.
yourself?
I don't know.
Why do you
I say
find
hold
yourself
my
traveling
obvious
to
time. I
the
have
Great
told.
Trees?
They're multiplying.
The colors of the wind? Somehow. Somehow.
What was the question?
What does a diplomat like yourself find your way towards the Great Tree?
I might be asking you the same question.
I'm not a diplomat.
No, but your father was.
Interesting.
And he says, you look much older than the last time I saw you, but I do recognize you, Perrin. He says, Perrin Aristep. He says, you've come a long ways.
Perrin? Perrin? Not Perry?
Shambles. Everything I knew was a lie!
Harry! Parents! step.
And he goes, I feel like you and I have a lot to discuss. And he goes, but as far as journeying to the Great Tree, yes, I can answer that question. He goes, it seems that the druids have abstracted from the area. And I'm uncertain to where they have gone. And he goes, and with the rise of the Black Blood, he says, it is something that I'm very interested in.
Were you an Ambrose?
No, I wasn't an Ambrose, but I do have connections, little feelers that extend all throughout Terrasquia, and I do know many very important figureheads in many important cities, and when they stop talking to me.
Drumport almost went that way. We were able to stop it, but we fear that some of the cause of it may stem from what's happening in the Great Tree.
Gold heads. Can throw him on this guy real quick.
You may.
I will do the same.
21.
16?
Probably.
Sure.
Okay, okay.
16.
21. Yeah, he seems to be in earnest.
He's lying.
Have you met any of the druid leaders?
He says, unfortunately, no. And he says, when you're in the position that I'm in, an esoteric group like the Druids are something that you don't get to speak to very often. He says, unfortunately, I haven't had the pleasure, but I would be very interested in doing so. He says, but a powerful enough druid such as yourself, able to shapeshift into such great beasts, I've assumed that you've spoken with them.
Roll me a bluff, my guy.
No. Never.
I was not trained by those ravens.
I'm a self-taught.
It's a 6.
It's a 34.
It's a 6.
He says,
Right.
oh, that's unfortunate, he says, looking at you. Well, he says, I had so many questions for you, but seeing that you haven't spoken with those druids before, and he goes, I am a bit of a cartographer as well. I happen to have, he reaches into his coat, and he swiftly pulls out a map of the area. And he says, I can get us there in the quickest amount of time through the easiest trail. And he says, and as a matter of fact, if any of you are tired of walking, perhaps, those who are not as trail-worn, and he says, are welcome to hitch a ride on my way.
Andy.
Since we're all going to the same place, I assume it would benefit the both of us to travel together.
I've never seen an axe bow before. Are those things safe?
He says, I've never been hurt by them.
Big bird.
They can sever a limb. I'm not saying they can't, but you can try to pet one.
No. I have no desire. I'll leave that to Manzarek.
This one's name is Beaker, and that one's Tickles.
Tell me they came with those names.
He says, yes,
Roll us a bluff.
they came with those names.
Who did you know in Drumport?
He says, I happen to know a lot of people in Drimport. And he says, but I was unaware that the Black Blood had stepped into it. How long ago was this?
Did you know Melkor?
Yes, I know of Melkor. He's one of High Lord Mayor Hawthorne's many children. The black sheep of the family, as a matter of fact.
Did you hang out with Melkor?
Hang out, he says. I can't say I did. He partied a little harder than what I am used to.
To answer your first question, about a week or 2.
I see. He says, that's relatively recent. I'm surprised I haven't heard about that. But in the last 2 weeks, I have been traveling.
When's the last time you talked to him?
Melkor?
Yes.
I haven't had the pleasure of knowing the man personally. And he says, but I have read about Lord High Mayor Hawthorne's lineage. It says 50 children's quite a lot to keep up with. Well, why are you so interested in my
You
relationship?
shake your head. Yeah, you're like, yeah, that's cool.
Why are you so interested with my dealings with...
Because he was the one that spread the Black Blood within the city. He contacted it and spread it throughout.
Patient zero, he says. One person can do that?
Patient 1.
He wasn't the first. He contacted it from someone else that got it from the tree area.
Excuse me, and he says, Perhaps this is something that he kind of looks around at the caravan as the cat folk are gathering their things. Maybe this is something we can speak about in private. And he goes, of course, we know that we can trust one another, but so many ears makes for a difficult position.
Changing topics. Do you know of any really ancient structures nearby?
Oh yeah, that tree.
Older than the tree.
Older than the tree? He says, well, yes, as a matter of fact. He says, the sanctuary that it has grown out of. The main base where the druids hold their meetings. That predates the tree itself. There is tell that an evil baron once lived there, that he coveted a small sapling, kept it there, and then when the baron died, the sapling took root and grew so large as to encompass the entirety of his castle.
Can I roll knowledge history with that?
You may.
Sounds like he was a tyrant.
25?
With a 25, you've heard that, but there's no real, evidence to suggest that any of that's real. But yes, there is a structure underneath the red tree, and yes, it does predate the tree. But for any knowledge that, that's legit, is either kept by the druids or doesn't exist.
That's what a druid should know, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe no.
You do know that, and that is true.
Let's take this conversation indoors.
And
shall
it's
we?
uncomforting that he knows that.
Where?
In his wagon.
It's something that's unspoken with your other guys.
It's one of the things, somebody would be harshly reprimanded if they spilled that to somebody.
But what they don't know.
So I get uncomfortable when he says it.
Oh, yeah.
I
It seems like he likes to flaunt what he knows.
How big's his wagon?
That's what she.
It could fit 2 people inside and 1 riding shotgun.
Shotgun.
Okay.
All right. Well,
This is my boomstick.
There are many like this one.
I mean, we are heading the same direction. Would it make sense not to?
I'm not opposed. I'm just.
This is the way we ought to go.
Excellent. He says.
Are we following the Hydra or the Dragon?
He says, oh, the Hydra would be the quickest way, the easiest way. Pulls out the map. See?
So let's do that.
Do let's. Excuse me, Joel says. But before you go, my grandmother is asking for you. She said she would like to thank you for what you have done here.
Sure.
Okay.
He says, of course, I would love to be thanked. He said, not you stay. It seems like they are,
Tired
sick
of
of his crap, and he's like, oh, right. It's not that I did help her. I stabbed that guy.
Right in the heart, dude. It was impressive.
Aaron disintegrated a bunch of people.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't have any magic items.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there's nothing left.
Magic items.
We need to
magic
still
organs.
have that conversation.
Magic skins.
Magic organs.
They're effectively crazy. But they earned it.
Is it okay if we go just a touch over?
No, not on camera, but yeah.
No.
She's not watching.
I'll do my best.
Not anymore.
No.
She was.
Jal takes you all over to one of the wagons. It is the largest and most ornately decorated. However, it also looks to be the oldest. It is weather-worn, trail. The paint has been worn off from miles and miles of trail travel. But it seems like at some point it was a brilliant burgundy color with kind of these gold designs over the wheels, but ever since then it's just chipped, worn, but still very spacious. And well maintained, just not well decorated. He steps up and he says, there's not a whole lot of room in the cabin, or in the carriage. She would ask to speak to each of you.
one at a time. Who would like to go first?
Sure.
She's very good.
He opens the door. As soon as he opens it, a heavy cloud of incense fills the air. On the inside, it's dim. There's a couple of lanterns, but the curtains are drawn to block out any light. There is a table with a crystal ball and a chair that is facing away from it, and you can't quite tell who is sitting in that chair. He says, step right up. Robbie says, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Magics. We're doing magics. We're always doing magics of some kind. Stepping into the wagon, he shuts the door. The rest of you have time to kind of mingle about and ask questions or talk to the cat folk if you like. They are very interested in talking to you, but the longer you spend with them, the more you feel like they're going to take something. Like, as they become, like, very friendly
Very
and
aggressively friendly.
yes, you know. You like dogs. Stepping into the carriage, the door's shut behind you, and your eyes kind of have to adjust to the shift of light and everything, and your senses have to adapt to that smell of incense. She turns, reaching down and spinning both sides of the wheels that flank either side of her chair, and you realize she is sitting in a wheelchair. This cat folk is completely devoid of hair. Oh yeah, one of those. She has large gold eyes. One ear is folded over just from age, but she still has decorated both of those abnormally large ears with gold rings. She wears jewelry on either finger and down both of her wrists with a necklace. She looks at you as you step in. She says,
Please, make yourself comfortable.
she gestures to a chair on the other side of the table.
Okay. Thank you for inviting me into your wagon.
I'm waiting for this things.
She says, my grandson told me about what had happened, about you saving our caravan. I want to thank you personally.
There was no trouble at all, really. I think we did more damage to ourselves than they did to us.
She kind of gives you a very polite smile, right?
She says, by the way, my name is Felipe.
I'm Perry. Perrin.
A pleasure to meet you, Perry. She says, our caravan will be leaving soon. We don't like to stay in one place, especially after being attacked so suddenly. She says, but before we go, I wanted to thank you personally for what you have done. She says, tell me, Barry.
She reaches down and she produces a deck of cards.
She says, have you ever had your fortune told?
As she begins to expertly shuffle them, her hands are like crooked, that like first joint is kind of off kilter on a couple of her fingers. But like it seems that years and years of doing this have not taken away from the dexterity of her hands.
I can't say that I have.
She says, if you would permit me, may I?
She pulls 2 cards from the deck and lays them face down in front of you. She says,
That's an interesting phrase.
it is a thing she said though.
She says, may I see your palm?
Of course.
She takes your hand. You can feel like that bitter coldness to her touch. Like there's probably not a whole lot of circulation anymore. As she and it's furless, so it's kind of like, oh, so am I, but I'm not that saggy. As she touches your hand and she kind of closes her eyes, right? She says, looking you directly in the eyes,
I see your first card.
she flips it over. You see this ghostly figure rising up in complete darkness with 2 piercing wide eyes.
Is the shadow.
She says without looking down at it, and beneath it in bold italics it says the shadow.
She says, this means that you have lived in the presence of someone that has dictated your life. That you had followed in their footsteps, becoming more of what they wanted you to be than what you always dreamed yourself to become. A product of who or what they wanted you to be. Your second card is the present.
She says as she flips over that one.
This one,
It is a plant that rises up, and hanging from the branch is a cocoon, and beneath it
is the chrysalis. This means you are turning into something else. Despite your upbringing and following into the steps of someone else, this means you're gaining independence. You are in the process of hatching into something much different than before, she says. However, this last card is for you to decide.
as she fans out the cards. Roll me a d20.
Okay. 13.
Oof.
Drawing it out, you see sitting on a bench with a small wall in the background overlooking this kind of bay area with ships and everything. On the shoreline, you see buildings that stretch up almost all the way to the clouds above them. The two people sitting on the bench are young, both humans. They're holding hands and looking into each other's eyes, and it says, "The Lovers."
She says, this means that there is someone in your future that you are going to meet. Not necessarily a romantic relationship, but that's not outside the realm of possibility, especially for someone as young as you. She says, the Lovers is a card that will bless you in the way that you present yourself to whomever is around you.
As an immediate action, anytime you choose, she slides the card to you. You get a +4 charisma bonus. Even with any other, it stacks with any other enhancements.
Oh, anytime.
1 round as an immediate action, anytime you want to use the card.
And then it disappears.
And then it disappears.
Can be used after he rolls.
Yes,
As an immediate.
as an immediate action.
Wow.
I know what she's doing.
He's reading our future.
I used to play a cleric I played could do this.
She clasps your hand, right?
And she says, and the last thing I would like to do is read your palm. This could tell anything about you. Your past, your present, or your future. Usually these powers speak to me in mysterious ways. But they are very, very descriptive. And it may not mean anything now, but it will in the future.
As she touches your palm, she says,
I see a great door, one that can only be opened by a broken key.
and she puts her hand on the back of yours, and she gently folds your fingers back into your palm.
She says, thank you for what you have done, Baron, and I wish you luck on your journeys.
And safe travels for you.
She nods as she lets go.
Like, oh, okay.
Get out.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, there are cookies on the way. Yes, you may have a cookie. Yes.
Never say no to her. Except for the last campaign.
There were some evil cookies in the
There's
last
evil cookies.
campaign.
I feel like there's an evil cookie in this one now.
It's me. I'm the evil cookie.
Oh no.
Number next,
What did she do?
he smells like incense. Like in a big way.
I want a cookie. I don't
It's like a spice rack.
I was told there was cookies.
She gestures to a plate of cookies.
I grabbed one.
And then you leave.
I'm waiting for the thanks.
She says, she kind of gives you the same rigmarole. The whole, I would like to thank you. She introduces herself. She gestures to you and asks once again permission to read your future.
What's the worst thing that could happen?
She takes the cards, again shuffles them, laying 2 down. She flips the first one. She says, I see the bear to describe your past. You're strong. No stranger to battle or combat. She says, fierce. Yes.
Very.
This has shaped and molded who you are today. She folds the next card. On this card, you see a man with a pack and a cane. She says, the Wanderer. She says, you are looking for something, but you're not sure where or what it is. Something drives you, with no real destination in mind, but a general direction. She says, it is no scam. She says, this is real. You may draw a card.
Go and pick one. You'll never believe what it is. 10.
Oh, neat. You draw it. You see there's a gesture, and he's like falling down, and it says the Fool.
Appropriate.
She says, it says here that you will have mistakes, as everyone does. But you will make a mistake that will impact you more so than normal. With this, she says, with this, I hope you can see before it happens and do something about it. You may ignore any nat 1, any critical failure, and reroll as an immediate action.
You can do
Write
it.
that
You can do
down,
what he
son.
does.
Only once then.
Yeah, but I can only do it for myself, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't do it like
It's still
okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
She says, and if I may, before you leave, read your palm.
Okay.
She gives you the same warning. It's very vague, but she does see it clearly. She reads your palm looking down at it, and she says, I see a black serpent, great in size, towering over even the trees surrounding it. It has 4 heads, and one of them is consuming the tail. She closes your palm. You seem to know something about that.
Chasing after the 4 heads. Outside of descriptions, I'm not sure if it's.
Maybe it will present itself in time.
This is real funny because I'm not going to. Thank you.
Have a cookie.
I
Have
got the
another
second
cookie.
I grab another cookie and put it in my mouth as I'm walking out.
You smell like a spice rack as well. Is she
Go-
cooking
go
in that?
cooking.
Yes, you should go check it out.
It's so good.
She's baking.
Literally.
I hesitantly push my way through the flaps.
Again, welcome. My name is Feliday. How you doing? Check out my cards.
Give as formal a bow as I can.
She presents your 2 cards to you. She says, the first one is the Shattered Stone. This says to me that you sought to become something, and it was taken from you. That what you built your life around has fallen apart. She flips the next one, again not looking down at it, but maintaining eye contact with you. You see a baby in a crib. She says, this is the newborn. She says, unlike the chrysalis, this means you've already become something new, whether you know it or not. She fans out the cards, and she says, but the last one, your future, is for you to decide.
I hesitate. Is what I'm becoming good or bad?
Your future is unwritten, so I suppose that's up to you.
2.
Oh boy. You see a man dressed in black with a dagger and a sack over his shoulder, and beneath it, it says, "The Thief." As a free action, as an immediate action, anytime you would had tripped a trap, you instead know that it is there, as if you get a premonition into the immediate future.
Neat.
So it automatically alerts you of a trap.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If I would have tripped it.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna be walking into everything now. You take the first step.
Nice. I hesitantly bow. I have look of concern on my face. And I turn and leave.
Before you go,
I'd stop.
if I may, I would like to read your palm.
I pull my gauntlet off my hand and hold it out to her.
Ah, you are sweaty.
Just try from my end.
Ew.
I see a falcon perched upon what remains of a shattered sword. She closes her palm.
I turn and leave without another word.
Don't forget the cookie.
I'm already out.
Someone
When I
take
walk
him a
past
cookie.
everyone, I go sit some distance away.
Did you get a
the
cookie?
steps.
Good cookie.
I don't respond.
You start getting really hungry, and you start same to you, you start getting really kind of lightheaded, and everything seems a little funnier.
Start having some really good ideas.
Why are your eyes so red?
I don't know, but I need one of those cookies.
All
Can
the
you grab me one?
incense. It's not the cookies, it's the incense.
Do you want to go?
You go ahead.
All right.
Frog.
I walk in. Rigmarole.
Rigmarole. She lays down the first 2 cards. She says,
The first one is the traveler. You have left something very dear to you and very comfortable to seek out something more important in life.
she flips over the second card.
The second one is the world. Typically, this would mean that you are seeking something, traveling, maybe for experience, but that's not the case. You're more connected to the world than that. This means you have a connection to everywhere you go. But, lastly,
6. You draw the bull. It is a large horned bovine with a wicked ring in its nose. As an immediate action, for 1 round, you get a +4 to your strength.
You get the bullhorn.
Is it just in the front?
Just one.
and lastly, I would like to read your palm.
Oh, there's no lines.
It's very sticky.
The knight's hands were dry.
I see a tomb of some kind. A dark, hewn stone room deep in the ground, with roots that extend from the ceiling down into it. Close it. Take a cookie.
Grab me a
cookie.
I'm just outside, just randomly.
Rigmarole, rigmarole, rigmarole.
It's like, hey, will you go here? Will you grab a cookie for me? Hey, man, you got any more of them?
You get more of them cookies? You make those with cocaine?
See, that
That joke was cracked out.
Oh boy.
She says, for your pass. She looks at your card. When you look down at the card, you see a tall, cloaked, skeletal figure gripping a massive scythe. She looks up at you. I feel like you know more about this card than I do.
I just give her a smile.
She flips your second card. You see a terrifying horned creature holding a pitchfork and surrounded by fire with a wicked smile and a long tongue. You see beneath it the devil. This seems more on the nose than what I'm used to. No offense.
I just point to the black chain.
I see. Well, she looks nervous. But for your future, I assume.
I apologize to anyone. 13.
13 get the lovers.
Yeah, you do. Reroll. That card's not in the deck anymore.
Okay.
Oh no.
17.
17. That's a new one. You draw a large stone tower with banners on all four corners. There is an army laying siege to this tower, but it seems to be impenetrable. And beneath it, it reads, The Fortress. As an immediate action, you can gain +4 to your fort save. Noise. She says, and lastly, if you'll permit me.
1, 2.
Both hands, please. She takes them both. She pulls them forward. She closes her eyes. She begins to shake. She opens her eyes and looks up, and you hear this voice emit from this old feline that sounds much stronger than it should, as if it is dredged up from her very soul to tell you what she sees. I see a great bat. Its wings bound to its body. Fire engulfs it. Its eyes are piercing. I see an animal. A steed of some kind. No! A zebra. Chains emitting from it, binding the bat, one of gold and one of black. I see a mask. Duplicitous in its appearance. She breaks the grip. I'm sorry. I need a moment.
I just sit there. If she has a glass nearby, I'll just create water and fill it.
You may leave.
I'm sorry.
No. This burden that you carry, you don't owe anyone an apology.
I almost take her hand just gently. I do appreciate it. I will take a cookie.
Take 2. You're gonna need them.
I take 2. I leave the tent. I look at Perry. You're the key. I'm a zebra. And I hand you a cookie.
I didn't get one.
I'm not standing there.
I will go to you.
Go to me?
Yeah.
Turkey for your thoughts.
What you doing, Mr. Broody?
I'd rather be alone right now.
Okay. I just take it.
Dr. Tone's like, oh, you got the bad news.
I get told I'm a zebra with chains and chaining down the bat demon, but whatever, man. I say that as I walk away.
Sounds like a Batman episode.
The zebra.
The zebra.
And with that, we will pick it up here next time. Thank you very much for joining us in adventure. Thank you very much for joining us, adventurers. I'm out of practice. And remember that this has been a good day to die. See ya.